Loving the Violet School.
Goodbye, Nellie and Violet School. Goodbye. Goodbye, Nellie and Violet School. Kaidale, what the freaking heck? You gonna go home and go to bed?
Back at house.
We're not going to Big Guy's house.
Goodbye, Loving the Violet School.
Goodbye, Nellie and Violet School.
Back at house.
Hopefully we haven't missed lunch yet, but I don't think we have. If we have, I'm sure your teacher will let you eat in the classroom. I love you. You just got a short little day. And Mommy will be back to pick you up, okay? Kaidale and I had quite the morning this morning. He woke up at like 4:30, and today was a school day. My plan was to do a school update video, and then I could not get him back to sleep before school started at 8 o'clock. Pulled up to the drop off in the morning, and whew, kiddo pitched a holy one. He just went off and had a moment in the car, and I could tell the teacher was a little nervous. I was a little nervous, and I was like, no, I don't want to start his day like this. Let me take him back home, make him nap. By God, I'm gonna make him nap, and we'll try to come back the second half of the day. So that's what we did. He kind of fought me on it this morning. You know, he was showing out a little bit, but I just we had to come to Jesus. Told him, quit playing with me, get back in your room. I give him the old school, you better not come out that room till after you've had a nap. And he did. He gave it up. He took a nap, and now I'm the one sleep deprived. I should have taken a nap myself, but I had an appointment for the plumber to come over because our garbage disposal has been broke for like 2 weeks, and I can't take it anymore. So I had that already set up, so I couldn't nap. So, but he did. He woke up on the right side of the bed. All is good. He went to school, and I'm gonna pick him up in a couple of hours. Can I please have a small blue raspberry slush? And I guess since it's happy hour, I'll do a large Diet Coke with light ice.
Okay. That's because it's happy hour.
Yep, I need the caffeine.
All right, it's 3:89 at the window.
Thank you. Kaidale. Buddy. Hi.
Hi, good morning. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Good, good. So how is Kaidale doing?
He is doing okay.
Any observations on the animosity?
Well, what would you say as far as like new onset side effects? Are we past that window with having done 20 for about a month now? Or maybe less than a month, but around it?
Anytime you go up, you do run the risk of the same side effects. So going up to, if he didn't have any side effects, I mean, we eased him into it by 10 milligram increases. So now we're doing a 20 milligram increase. If he had nothing, I'm hopeful that his body I have some patients that don't have side effects on atomoxetine, but I have others that do. The most common side effects on a dose increase is going to be headache and nausea.
And this is, I guess, kind of a vague question, but he does, and he's always done this, it's kind of like been off and on with the frequency, but he can be a little emotional. Like he will just kind of get upset and like whiny and just kind of emotional. That wouldn't be anything to do with the Strattera, do you think?
Is it more than usual?
I don't think so, because it's kind of off and on throughout the years, so I don't think it has anything to do with it, but I just wasn't sure. It could be, you know, preteen, could be autism. Yeah, he just will randomly start crying, but you know, like I said, he's kind of done it off and on throughout the years. It just...
Triggered or untriggered? Just kind of like seemingly comes out of nowhere. He's just randomly tearful.
Yeah. Yeah, randomly kind of tearful. It doesn't catch me off guard because he's always kind of had moments like that. It's just something I kind of have noticed lately. And I'm sure, you know, with the holidays and being out of routine and everything else, I'm sure that's probably a little bit to do with it.
You know, become confident that atomoxetine or even another med is helping his ADHD. I'd be interested to see what that spontaneous tearfulness or big emotions, if that gets better. Just because kids with ADHD are more easily and readily overwhelmed, even if we, as you know, if the outside non-ADHD person doesn't feel like this is an overwhelming situation. Yeah. So that would be interesting to see.
Yeah, and I don't know much about ADHD. I just kind of assume everything is autism, and it's hard for me to like separate the two.
ADHD is, you know, when it's there, it definitely can impact many, many aspects of someone's life. And so it's all hitting him at once, and then it's just a big burst of emotion. Gotcha. Versus maybe a kiddo that doesn't have ADHD, again, not including autism. You remove the tablet, they say, okay, I'm going to go do what was asked of me. And then they come back. They can kind of think in that stepwise fashion versus that big burst of emotions and thoughts, can't organize it all and then get the output to be appropriate. The output is just big emotion, whether it's anger, sadness, a combination of the two, reactive hitting, impulsive eloping, things like that, because it's just too much going on at once.
Okay, that makes sense. Feeling better, buddy? You coloring? Oh, got some new stickers. We'll put it right on the wall, aren't you? The lady at Sonic gave Kaidale a toy in the car today because she felt bad. He was having such a rough time. But we have rallied. We're back home. I ran by the dollar store today. It was one of my errands. And got Kaidale, just happened to see some cool activity books that I picked up for him, which he's very much enjoying. And it gives him a nice break from the tablet. Sometimes I think when he's on the tablet too much, it kind of exacerbates any frustrations or, you know, difficulties he's having with his emotion. It kind of exacerbates that, I've noticed, when he has it in excess. So if it's not in excess, it's usually okay, but whenever he's having rough days, I just try to be conscious of that and just kind of try to limit his time on it as much as possible. So we're just chilling, cooking dinner, doing some activities while we wait for dinner to cook. Yeah! Right, buddy? That looks pretty dang cool, Kaidale. You definitely got a cool little wall mural going on there with your Blue's Clues stickers. Absolutely fantastic job, buddy. I love it. Remember, alright, this is the way it goes. You gotta step up there and put your hands right here. It's easier with shoes too. Whoa! Alright, now your armpit's gonna rest on this thing. So do it like that. There you go. Good. Is it comfortable? Whoa! Here, let your armpit rest on this thing. That kind of makes it a little bit. Oh gosh! Oh gosh! Oh my gosh! Look at you. I'm barely helping. You're mostly doing that by yourself. You gotta try and keep it straight if you can. Man! You're doing so good on these. So this morning he woke up at about 4. And I tried for 2 hours to get him to go back to sleep, and it just wasn't happening. I had to start working at 6, and then he finally fell back asleep around 8. But I'm definitely concerned for a few reasons, because sleep disorders are extremely common in autism. It just is. And we've always kind of off and on struggled throughout the years. You know, sometimes he'll go through good phases to where he's on a roll and he's sleeping pretty good. And then sometimes he'll go through long phases to where he's not, like he is right now. Which is really tough because it affects, you know, everything. I mean, it affects his mood. Oh, fuck. Okay, there is a freaking coyote hanging out in my backyard. I saw it the other day. I thought it was just a fluke because I've lived in this suburb for my entire life, never seen a coyote. Now that I live in this condo, this is the second time I've seen a coyote, so I don't know if they've just got like a little den or whatever in these woods back here, but I'm kind of freaked out because I don't have a fence. Like, my condo is just backed up to woods and Kaidale swings right here, so basically I'm gonna always have to be out here with him when he's swinging. And it's a tiny little coyote. I don't know if it's like, but I mean, it could be like could be a baby and the mom is somewhere around. So let me just carry this conversation inside. Let me just do that. All right, well, that was enough to wake me up. All right, anyways, what I was trying to say, the point I was making is that it obviously, being short on sleep, it affects everything. It affects his mood, it affects my mood. I mean, I was so cranky with him this morning and I felt so bad, but I was honestly just exhausted. And like, I knew I had to work at 6, so I was just waking up at 4, like, really bummed me out. And it's been like over a week that this has been going on. So my concern is that this might possibly have something to do with the new medication I started about like 6 weeks ago, I would say. I finally decided I wanted to go on ahead and treat Kaidale's ADHD. And not because his energy is a problem. You know, I keep him like so busy and so active. I mean, you know, we're constantly going on bike rides. We're constantly getting out and about, going to the park. I keep him as busy as possible. We do sports. He goes to school, like all these things to kind of channel his energy. So that's not my issue. My issue, and the reason that I decided to consult psychiatry about that, is because it's holding him back in other areas of his life, you know? Academically, I mean, I know he's so capable and I know he's so smart, and the whole reason I decided to homeschool him this year was to see if we could hopefully make some progress with his academic goals. But it's like, the poor kid, like, he just cannot sit still for literally more than like 3 seconds. He's rocking, he's moving, his eye, you know, he's looking everywhere, he's giggling for no reason. Like, he just can't channel it in that aspect of like focused academics. And I don't want him to miss out on the opportunity of reading, learning math, applying that to real life, job skills. Maybe I'm being unrealistic. Maybe that's not in Kaidale's future, but I just feel like it would be a shame for it not to be, because I feel like I know how smart he is, you know? When your brain is just so busy and having such a tough time processing everything that's coming in, and it's just kind of all over the place, you can't focus on one thing, you know, it can be hard to learn. Also, you know, I've always said too that for years, I was really hesitant to put him on any sorts of medication. And we had really severe anxiety, aggressive behaviors, meltdowns. He would get triggered so easily, like any little thing would just trigger him and set him off. You know, I was constantly going to work with scratches all over my face. You name it. You know, he would have bite marks all over his arms because he'd get frustrated and he'd engage in self-injury. So long story short, when I decided to treat him with pharmaceuticals, put him on Prozac, it changed his life. Like, totally allowed him to kind of be more at peace with himself. He wasn't so rigid and so anxious all the time. So I regretted being so cautious with that. I regretted not putting him on it sooner, because I feel like it could have saved him years worth of, you know, headache and stress. And I just really wish that, you know, I had started it sooner, basically. So I didn't want that to be the case with treating his ADHD. I was hopeful that it would, though. I was hopeful that we could start him on something, give it a try, and then, you know, it would just help him to focus and engage, and we would just start, you know, crossing off goals with his academics. But now I'm concerned that some of the things going on with him lately, like the real difficult time sleeping, he's also been really moody, more so than normal, like just kind of emotional, which is not uncommon for him. But with it kind of happening at the same time as him having difficult time sleeping, and we just started a new med 6 weeks ago, I'm wondering if it is a coincidence or not. Another thing I noticed is he's starting to do this like really exaggerated throat clear. You ready to go to Walmart and get some groceries? You want to get an ice cream? And it kind of seems like a little tick or like a stem or something. I just brushed it off as, you know, it being a new stem that would come and go. But again, seems a little coincidental to me. So I'm wondering if maybe Strattera is not the right choice for us. Anywho, so I reached out to his provider today and, you know, just sent her a message and told her my concerns. We'll see what she says, but I'm definitely leaning towards canning it. All right. I just dropped kiddo off at school. We were running a little bit late because we're still kind of having a rough time getting that medicine out of our system. He slept a little bit better last night. He did wake up briefly, but it wasn't all night like it had been before. So he got a little bit more sleep, and yeah, he seems to be a little bit better. I'm done with the medicine. I reached out to his provider on the patient portal just to get her feedback and suggestions. She said that, you know, it could just be a matter of his body kind of wigging out, just kind of like adjusting to the new medication, and maybe it's just he needs time to adjust to it before he settles down and it starts to assist him and his ADHD. But I just feel like I'm not willing to go through that rough patch, that kind of write it out rough phase. I'm just not really willing to do that, you know. It's not like, it is an issue, as I explained in the previous vlog. His ADHD is a big issue. His hyperactivity, his inability to sit still for more than a few seconds and pay attention to anything, like, it's a huge issue. But like I said, I had a happy kid before and I don't now, so I'd rather him be happy and hyperactive, or happy and I guess struggling to focus. I don't know, it just didn't seem worth it to me. So, and you know, I hate seeing him like that. So I'm about to go over, I'm pulling up to my parents' house right now. I'm gonna steal some power tools because I have a day off and I would like to build a bookshelf in my condo.